My name is Abraham, and I'm the founder of QVest. QVest is simply an online service that takes guesswork out of investing. And the goal is to use real data to help retail investors make informed decisions about the fees and the return on their portfolio, and ultimately to achieve their financial goals. Now, the problem is that for most people, investing and financial planning is very complicated. It's a pain, let's put it that way. And working with a financial advisor is expensive. You know, initial fees typically range between £650 to as much as £3,000 just to get your investment set up. And annual retainer, you're talking typically between 0.5% and 1% a year. Now, you might think actually 1% a year isn't a lot of money, but if you add the fund fees to that and you add the platform fees to that, then you're talking about total expense ratio of as much as 2.6%. Now, that doesn't include trading cost within your portfolio, within the fund management side of things, which isn't disclosed. No one tells you what that is. And the question you've got to ask is, well, you know, for an average investor, is that really visible? Now, the retail distribution review actually means that, you know, financial advice or investment advice is going to be, well, people say it's going to be a lot more expensive, but I don't think so. I think it's always been expensive, but it's going to mean that financial advisors make it absolutely clear what it is that they're going to charge you for their advice, and many people aren't going to be prepared to pay that. So that's one thing. And the other question is advice overrated? Now, don't get me wrong, there are very, very good financial advisors out there doing a great job, but I personally think that there's far too many bad apples in the industry. There's far too many people giving bad advice or mediocre advice for a lot of money. And the FSA actually, you know, did a thematic review in April of 2012, and they looked at what is known as CIP, so centralized investment propositions and replacement businesses. And what they came up with is nearly 20% of the review cases. So they looked at case files of financial advisors' clients, and what they came up with, you know, one out of five clients was given bad advice. And the other thing, which is shocking, is that in about 6 out of 10 cases, the files were so badly put together that the FSA couldn't tell what the hell was going on. And in 60% of cases, actually, the FSA felt that the disclosures of fees and charges wasn't adequate. So basically, you're in a situation where in 8 out of 10 cases, people were being given bad financial advice for a lot of money. So is advice overrated? Now, the financial industry currently, the retail investment services currently puts people in two categories. So you are either a do-it-for-me investor, in which case you work with a financial advisor, or you're a self-directed investor, in which case you just simply do your own thing. But I'm going to show you that there is a place in the middle, which is do-it-with-me type investment. Self-directed investors, you use online brokers, typically Hargreaves Lansdown, Barclays Stockbrokers, Alliance Trust. But the thing is, in many cases, it's practically impossible to know if you're getting a better deal. You probably know that you're overpaying if you are with your current broker, but you don't know by how much, and you don't know if you're going to be better off moving elsewhere. So there is lack of transparency there. And some work that was done by Consumer Association Wage, and they actually looked at constructing a portfolio of £30,000 using similar type of funds, or the same funds, across 25 different platforms. And the cost of the most expensive one to set up the investment and to run it for the first year was as much as £1,300 to get it set up. And the cheapest one was £350. So the cost difference is about 83%. Depending on who you're doing your investing with. So that's the problem. And the question is, how does QVest solve that? Well, essentially, we offer a single dashboard where you can view all of your investment, all of your pensions, savings account, bank account, if you want, all held online. You can use our account aggregation system to just simply bring all of your investment into the platform. You can see your asset allocation, geographical spread of your investment, as well as see exactly how your investment's performing on a daily basis if you want to, or over whatever period you want to. The key thing for us, though, is that we look at the fees and the cost within your existing portfolio with your broker, and we would reconstruct or simulate your trading history across several other brokers, and we'll tell you actually by moving from X broker to Y broker, actually you can save £500 a year or whatever that is, and we'll project what that cost difference is going to be in 5 or 10 years' time. The other thing on there is the portfolio builder. So you answer a couple of simple questions about your income, how stable they are, your debt, if you have any, emergency fund, your attitude to risk, but also your risk tolerance, i.e., what sort of risk are you prepared to accept, or can you afford to accept? And QVest will suggest a typical asset allocation for you, a portfolio of low-cost index tracker funds, and will tell you what the cheapest broker to buy that, or the fund supermarket to buy that from is. So that's essentially QVest. We're predominantly a direct-to-consumer platform, but also we're looking at the workplace financial advice sector or financial planning sector, where you can actually have access to the platform through an employer. How do we make money? We charge a small fee for having access to all of the features, but there'll be a free version. We may also earn a small commission if we refer you to a broker. There are a couple of things out there that may well be competition, maybe not directly. InvestB is one of them. Money Vista is essentially a financial planning tool rather than focusing on investing. So far, QVest has been admitted into Yodeli's incubation program, which essentially gives us access to their API, and where we've got 2 developers on board, contracted to build the prototype. What am I looking for? We're looking for a CTO, a co-founder, to help with the work, and it would be great if we get an investment pro on board as well. Also, we're looking for alpha testers, so people to actually test the prototype and try to break it, essentially. So that's what QVest is, basically.
Okay, can we get some feedback for Abraham?
You talk about direct-to-consumer, but the problem with direct-to-consumer potentially in this market is, quite frankly, a lot of people find this kind of stuff really quite dull. So how are you going to get people to care about it enough to actually bother downloading your software or to engage with it over the web?
Well, I think the first thing is that they're going to be able to see their bank account alongside their investments if they've got any. So people, I think a lot more people log online to their bank account, and if you have multiple bank accounts, that's a great thing because you can see your investments alongside your bank account. But I think it comes down to as a business, we're going to be out there, talking to consumer, doing a lot of education type piece to try and get people actively involved with their investment.
Sounds expensive. Sounds
expensive. It's going to be all online. I don't see how that's going to be expensive.
Abraham, first of all, I think it's a great idea what you had. First question comes to my mind is, for the consumer, it might be a very good idea, but who will support your idea? Because certainly the independent financial advisors who you will test with your business idea will not be overly keen to help you to get more competition within. So actually, for the consumer, it might be a very good idea, but how do you want to get it to the consumer without spending an awful lot of money to go against all those people who you cut out by making investment actually more attractive to the main street? I think what you try to do is the main street needs to get more involved, the main street needs to be more educated, but who is actually supporting your idea in educating the main street if they are not participating in that thing? Second question is, you say you may take some fees. I think if you want to educate people to be more sensitive about fees from their independent financial advisors, I think you must be very, very clear and very, very transparent how much you charge and where the bread is coming from, what you need for your daily living.
Yes, thanks for that. First of all, we're not going to be going through financial advisor, we're going direct to consumers. And actually, there are advisors out there who do recognize that there are people who can't afford their service. I mean, I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he only wanted to put £200 or so into his personal pension plan. No financial advisor is going to look at that. Well, the financial advisor I actually went to was going to charge him £1,200 to get it set up. So there are financial advisors who out there who do understand actually there are people who can afford our service. We shouldn't really be trying or struggling to serve them, but also they don't want to turn them away. So if we, and I'm not saying we would, but if we go down the white labeling route, I actually know financial advisors who said, if you get this done, we'll be more than happy to have that for people who can afford our service. Coming down to the issues about earning a commission, it's not a model that I like myself, so I would rather be in a position where the user knows exactly what it is that they're paying to have access to the platform. And I think that the workplace saving environment is a big one as well, because employers are trying to get their employees involved in saving. There's a lot of changes happening in that sector. The auto enrollment is coming in, Nest is coming in, a lot of changes in that sector, and we would be there. And there was a research done simply just looking at how much employers are prepared to pay for financial education tools. An employer, 50% of employers says actually they're prepared to pay as much as, 50 to 70 pounds a year per employee for this sort of tool. So we'll explore that sector.
I'm missing Nutmeg on your competitor sheet. They have a very similar focus in terms of smaller investments, lower costs, portfolio selection. Seeing it, it jumped out at me that it wasn't there. So I don't know if you would want to change the pitch to include that, but I think anyone that would look at this from a funding perspective would immediately in their brain be saying, "Where's Nutmeg up there on the competitors list?"
Yes, thanks.
Hi there. Are you giving advice? And if so, how are you getting around the FSA regulation? Because you are taking a commission, you're also charging a fee.
We're not giving advice. We're just essentially putting a tool out there to help people make simple decisions. There are already similar type of tools, in my view, very badly put together. But there are tools out there doing similar things. If you go, for instance, on Interactive Investors website, you will see tools that just ask you a couple of questions and suggest a simple portfolio. That's exactly what we're doing, but we're using facts to make that suggestion.
Okay, we'll just take last question.
Hi, just out of curiosity, have you studied what your competitors are doing in order to acquire customers? How well do you understand the process? How much money are they making off of each customer? How long does it take them to convert a customer from somebody who's non-paying to paying? Because I suspect it would probably be the same for yourself, or something similar at any rate. I mean, I'm just saying that because if you know about your competitor then, and you could study them, you have a template to work off of, and you may be able to do it better than them, or it may expose some risk that you haven't seen.
Well, I mean, studying competitors is definitely going to be something that we do, that we've done some work on, but I don't think it can ever be enough. So, yes. Sorry? Yes, I mean, I do understand the competitors I put on the slide. I do understand their business model. I can't say that I know 100% how successful they are. For instance, Money Vista is a direct-to-consumer approach. I can't say that I know exactly how successful they've been, but I understand how their model as far as customer acquisition is concerned.
Okay, thank you very much, Abraham.
Thank you. Can I just say, sorry, can I just say as well, if you want to get on our website, QVest.co.uk, you can just sign up to be invited into our private beta as well. Thank you.